I'm Chandler. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Eat Like a Chef. Today we're at Yards Bruncheon here in Kendall Yards, and we're gonna be cooking up some awesome brunch dishes with Chef Adam Hegsted and Chef Aaron Fish. So come on inside and join us. Hi.
Hey Chandler, I'm Aaron Fish, Chef of Eat Good Group. Welcome to Yards.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited. What are we making?
Lots of delicious food today, but first we're gonna make some Eggs Benedict.
Ah, my favorite.
All right, let's start by making our Hollandaise.
Cool.
So I make our Hollandaise pretty traditional. We're gonna start with a little bit of Worcestershire sauce.
How do you say it?
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. A little bit of apple cider vinegar.
Yep.
Some lemon juice.
Ah.
Egg yolks.
Do you have a trick to separating your egg yolks?
Yeah, I do it in my hand. Like you put it in and kind of wiggle it and let the white drop out.
Okay.
You can do this trick where you crack it and you kind of plop it between
that's what I do.
Yeah.
Or the water bottle.
With the water bottle.
Yeah, we'll try later.
All right. We're also going to use this unnamed hot sauce. A little splash of it. It rhymes with Tabasco. And then I like to beat my eggs a little bit first before we start adding the butter. Now, what you can do is when you're doing this part is you can get your butter melting in a saute pan or something on your stove. You really want it to be almost boiling or boiling right before you go ahead and add it because you want to cook the eggs like a little bit.
Ah.
So we're just going to get it nice and frothy.
So beat for like a minute.
Yeah. Or as long as your wrist can withstand.
Yeah, right.
All right, so I already got our butter hot. And then you're just gonna drizzle it in real slow and whisk.
Oh yeah.
You don't want it to break. Use your belly like me and hold it.
Okay, now I know why I like Hollandaise so much.
Because it's got too much butter in it?
Yeah.
No, Hollandaise is probably one of my favorite sauces in the world.
Wow.
But I also I have to be careful how much you eat it. It's like the older you get.
It catches up to you?
Yeah. So keep adding it. It takes a little while. You can put like a big amount in there. I just kind of slosh it in. Well, you just don't want it to break. So.
Is it kind of like equal parts egg yolk and butter-ish?
No, not at all. So each egg yolk typically will emulsify about 8 ounces of fat. So butter, oil, whatever you're using. So when you make like aiolis, you would say that maybe for every egg yolk you get, you can put a cup of oil in there.
Okay.
And that's like a safe way. You can probably do more, but that's typically how I write my recipes, just so that we don't have to worry about it breaking. So.
Looking good. Is there a reason you wouldn't beat this with a hand mixer?
You totally could.
You could, okay.
And just for fun's sake, most people, maybe don't have a hand mixer or a blender or food processor, and you make it by hand. Back when I was younger, I worked in a restaurant where I wasn't allowed to use the food processor. I had to whisk it by hand, and we'd make, a couple quarts a day.
Oh man, you got strong.
Yeah, it was the worst. But the best Hollandaise, I do believe it makes it like a little more fluffy, and it has a little bit more of a less processed feel to it.
Okay.
But I mean, at the end of the day, if it tastes good,
right?
And
it's all that matters.
Sure.
Man, you are not going easy with that butter. I love it. Bring it on.
And what's fun is you can kind of you can put if you can't hold this at the same time as you whisk, you put a little in and just kind of work it in like that.
Yeah, and then add more, and then yep.
Totally. So. We're almost there. It's getting nice and thick. And then what you want to make sure you do is after you're done emulsifying all this butter into here, we're going to set it somewhere warm but not hot. You don't want it to cook or break, but you want it to stay warm so it stays loose enough that we can ladle it onto your Benedict.
Gotcha.
But, and just stay warm so it's tasty, not cold.
And it's better to add a little bit of time, not dump that whole thing in.
Yeah, you don't want to dump the whole thing in or it's going to separate and break. And so you won't have... be able to make the sauce, nice and creamy like that.
Yeah, okay.
So, all right, cool. So this is done. We're gonna get everything else going and build our Hollandaise, our Eggs Benedict.
Our Eggs Benedict, yeah, let's do it.
So we're gonna go ahead, we've toasted our English muffin. Okay. We've warmed up our ham, we've poached our eggs. We've got our Hollandaise. One thing I forgot to mention before, we use salted butter. Okay. So when we make ours here, so if it's, you might need to add some salt to it, so you always want to taste your Hollandaise, make sure it tastes good. Add a little bit of salt, but if you're using salted butter, definitely wait until you're done.
Gotcha, but you're such a pro, we don't need to taste it, right?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay. And you don't need to butter that because of all the butter in the Hollandaise? Correct.
And I mean, you can totally butter if you want. I mean, and the great thing about Eggs Benedict, right, is that you can put so many different things on it because I honestly feel like the poached eggs, the sauce really make it for me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I love all kinds of stuff on there. I love, avocado and all kinds of stuff. So, we're gonna put our ham down first.
Okay.
And I like to make little like egg nests.
Ah.
If you have the time.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if anybody's ever has made Eggs Benedict before, but sometimes the eggs like to roll off.
Yep.
Another good trick too is you can see I kind of put these on the plate with a paper towel. It helps the eggs, you don't get a lot of water in your dish, and you can kind of pick them up gently if you need to. A slotted spoon is also highly recommended when you're pulling them out of their water bath. So real simple. I mean, we've got our ham, we've got our eggs on there, we've got the English muffins. Just ladle our Hollandaise on there.
Yeah.
Because I'm a fat kid.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and put another little scoop or two on those. And then we like to finish ours just here with a little bit of smoked paprika from Spiceology.
Okay.
So
love it.
Let's see if I can do it without just making a giant mess.
Awesome. Wow. It's like you've done this before.
Once or twice.
Well, thank you. This looks incredible. It smells amazing. I wish y'all at home could smell this right now. Join us after a quick word from our sponsors, where Chef Adam Hegsted will be making some chorizo breakfast tacos. Now we get to dig in. Let's check out this egg. That right there is perfection. Not to toot your horn too much.
Hey.
Oh my, Adam, what were you doing in there?
Just making sure our water's boiling.
Oh my goodness.
All right, we're gonna make our breakfast tacos. But first, one of the highlights on the breakfast tacos is our sweet chilies, our pickled sweet chilies. So we're gonna make those first, and then we'll put together the tacos.
Perfect.
So we have a little bit of apple cider vinegar, a little bit of white wine vinegar,
Okay.
a little bit of sugar. It's kind of a sweet, savory, spicy pickle. Salt. A little bit of chilies, dried chilies, flakes. Cardamom pods.
Oh. Instead of using a cardamom spice?
Yep.
Yeah.
Instead of ground, yeah, we just have whole pods. This is a star anise and bay leaves.
Cool.
And then we'll bring that to a simmer while we're cutting up our jalapenos.
Awesome.
Okay, and once again, I am cheating and using our mandolin here. This is a pretty useful tool for home cooks. Again, you have to be very careful because it is extremely sharp, but this is really useful. So I'm just gonna take the whole jalapenos and we just slice them like this.
That is so nifty. Let me help you.
You wanna do one?
Yeah.
All right.
I've never used this before.
Okay, so the trick with this is making sure that, number one, don't go all the way down to the end so you don't nip your fingers off.
Yes.
And to wash your hands after because you get spicy seed oil all over.
Okay, just like
so
at
just
an
go
angle?
slow. Yep, just go slow. See how easy that is?
Oh my gosh.
It
Yeah,
makes life so much easier in the kitchen.
100%.
Put them in the pot.
Okay.
We're gonna put them in here, and then after this comes to a simmer, we're gonna pour that over top, and then just let that sit for a little while.
Okay.
And it's a really quick pickle. We do that with pickled red onions and a couple other things, and it makes a really delicious, sweet and savory, sour sort of pickle.
Awesome. So how long will it sit?
We'll just let it sit for a couple hours, but it can sit up to a month. So after you let it sit, we let it sit on the counter for about 24 hours, and then put it in the refrigerator.
Okay.
All right, so this came to a simmer, and you can see all the sugar and salt is dissolved now. Mm-hmm. And now we have this sweet, sour, salty sort of brine.
It's
yeah. And so when you pour this on, all of the hotness out of the peppers is going to steam up too. So you have to make sure you have a very well ventilated kitchen. Just kind of press them into there. Make sure all those are covered, and then we'll just put like a little bit of a weight on them to make sure that all of the liquid covers the jalapenos.
Smart.
And then we'll let this sit on the counter for about 2 hours and then put it in the refrigeration.
Okay.
So here we have some sliced chorizo. We're gonna warm this up in the pan, a little bit of oil. While that's heating up, we're gonna whip up some eggs. So we have 3 eggs here.
Ooh, 2.5.
That one has that one's a little jump to it. That one's super fresh. Okay. Okay, and then we'll just whisk this up. I just use a fork, super easy and quick. Okay. I'm gonna add a little bit of water.
I've heard that that's a trick, so that's true.
Yeah, so essentially what you're doing is adding the water is any evaporation that happens when you're cooking the egg, it's staying inside the egg. So it can still have a little bit of that steam and evaporation that happens when cooking, but you're able to keep it by adding the water back in.
Oh, cool.
We don't add the salt in now because it'll make the eggs a little bit more like chewy or tougher. So here's our nonstick pan here. Just putting a little bit of oil, and let's dump that right in. Okay, and then I'm just gonna scramble these eggs.
Okay, and do you have a trick to that, or just
Nope.
scrape?
Just keep moving.
Medium
and
heat?
do a medium-high heat, medium
Okay.
heat. With any kind of protein, you want to keep the heat kind of low, and if you want the eggs to be tender. And so we just cook it at a little bit of a lower heat instead of high heat.
Okay. Patience.
Patience. Okay, while those are warming up, I'll heat up the tortillas. So basically what we're gonna do is we're just heating these up. This is just a hot pan.
Okay.
We don't want them to bubble. So we want to be able to, when you start seeing them flatten out, you can feel the heat on there.
Okay.
And then we'll just go ahead and starting to get little bubbles. We want to flip it over.
Okay.
The reason we don't want the bubbles is because it gets the steam out of the tortilla, and we want to keep that moisture inside.
Oh my gosh.
So it's starting to bubble up a little bit.
Yep.
We want it to be warm and start to bubble, but not make big ones here.
Okay.
That looks perfect.
Okay. Got it?
Okay. So our sausage is looking pretty good too.
Oh yeah.
Starting to brown up a little bit.
And the serving size with these, is it like 2-3 tacos?
I mean, it really depends how hungry you are. We
Yeah.
usually do about 1 egg per taco. So that's about
Okay.
3 eggs.
3 tacos.
Yep, 3 tacos.
Oop.
Take it.
How'd I do? It's a little bit too crispy.
It's a little crispy,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to tell anybody.
Okay. Yeah, my scrambled eggs are always done way quicker, so I'm obviously doing them way too hot.
So yeah, it's like that's gonna make a tougher egg.
Yeah.
And also I'm like trying not to get any brown. Like the brown is like makes that crunchy
You
little
do
bit.
not
Some
want
people
that.
like that. Some people do like
Okay.
that. I prefer not to have that. I want like nice fluffy light eggs.
Yeah, with fried eggs, do you do medium heat too?
Yeah, do the same. But you see these look very light. I mean,
Yeah.
they're still in their moisture really kept in there.
So are they about done?
Yeah.
Like how, okay.
I mean, it really depends. I like them about like this. Some people
Yeah.
like them a little drier. I think this is perfect. So
Yeah,
it's
I agree.
very silky. Now we have this all right here. Do about 1 egg, right?
Yep.
We have our chorizo. So this is a linked chorizo. I'm sure you've seen the crumble kind as well. This is
Yeah.
This is not quite as vinegary. It's a little bit more. It's a touch more smoky and a little more sausage-like. It's in a link instead of crumbles.
Okay.
But you really could use either. This is Cotija cheese,
Cotija.
similar to feta in kind of it's a little bit salty and a drier cheese, or like Parmesan. And then cilantro
Love it. Load it up.
really gives it that freshness.
Yes.
A little bit of our salsa.
You make that in house?
Yes, this is a roasted tomato salsa.
Wow. It looks super fresh.
And then our pickled chilies that we just made.
Awesome.
And I think these are really what kick it off and really set it apart.
Yeah. And so people that don't love hot can still probably do this.
Yeah,
'cause they're-
exactly.
Yeah, I love that.
You can skip that part, or you can just have a tortilla with chilies in it. I mean, it really depends what you want to do.
Whatever you want. Well, this looks fantastic. We are gonna try it right after the break, where we are joined with Chip from Spiceology making some breakfast fried rice. Now we're gonna dig in. Wow.
Good, right?
Wow. It has like everything you want in a taco.
Yeah, a little bit of freshness, that little bit of kick. Yeah. So we're gonna be doing poached eggs. The trick here is that we add a tiny bit of vinegar. What that does is it seasons up, it helps form the egg together so it doesn't split up so much.
Genius.
And the other way you want to do that is be able to have fresh eggs. Our water's obviously not boiling really hard here, so it's not going to blow the egg up. The fresher the egg, the easier it is that it's going to stay together.
Okay.
Okay, so then I place them into this bowl. What this does is create a little bit less havoc when you're like dropping them in.
Totally.
And then we're gonna let those cook for about 2 or 3 minutes. So we just want to give the eggs a little bit of a swirl. What that does is it helps kind of create the shape and make sure they're nice and round and beautiful. So our eggs are done here. We have these nice, beautiful eggs here, and these are probably over easy. Kind of shake off some of that excess egg white, and then we have beautiful poached eggs here.
Perfection.
Welcome back to Eat Like a Chef. I'm here joined by my guest, Chef Overstreet from Spiceology, one of the local innovators, created by a chef, owned by a chef, working with chefs.
Great to be here.
We're gonna make one of my favorite dishes here at Yard's Bruncheon, the breakfast fried rice. First off, we're gonna start with our sauce. This is a little bit of a maple hoisin sauce that we're gonna mix with the rice as we're cooking it. So we got a little bit of hoisin sauce, a little bit of maple syrup. Sounds weird, but it's breakfast fried rice, right?
Sounds great.
A little bit of soy sauce.
Yeah?
Some fresh minced ginger,
Yeah.
garlic, and some fresh minced ginger. And we're just gonna mix that up. And then we'll just hold on to this until we're ready for making the rice.
All right.
Spatula, you're gonna help me cook.
Excellent.
I'm gonna cook some eggs to go on top of our rice,
All right.
and you're gonna make our fried rice. So go ahead and start with the sesame oil here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, nice sizzle. So we are stir frying. So the idea here is that basically just stirring around the whole entire time.
Yep.
You can go with the celery, the kimchi, the green onions. Then you can just stir fry that around. And while you're doing that, I'm gonna make some eggs to go on top. So again, we're using medium-low heat. Dropping them in. I'm gonna let those cook while we're stir frying. So our pan's hot, we just really want to get those aromatic. So next up is our beef pastrami, ham, and bacon.
All right.
So we got the trio meats here.
Love the meats.
And then those roasted mushrooms as well.
All right.
So we got a good blend here. We got bacon, we got ham, we got maple syrup. And then we're gonna just combine that with a really pretty traditional fried rice. And then of course topping with fried eggs.
I know the chefs back at Spiceology are going to be judging every move I make.
Oh, you're doing great. It's working. It's working. Really all we're trying to do here is just brown this up a little bit and kind of get the flavors combined together.
Spread that bacon around a little bit.
I think the combination of we have that really kind of almost funky kimchi with the savory, salty pastrami, the ham, the bacon. I think it makes a really delicious dish.
Love it.
All right, next up is our rice. This is a cooked jasmine rice, just been steamed, and then we fluffed it up a little bit to make sure it's nice and fluffy for stir frying. We're gonna add that right to the pan. Just dump the whole thing in.
All right.
All right, looking good.
And mix it.
Yep, and just stir fry it around. And here we're just trying to combine the flavors again, get everything mixed together, get the rice kind of browned up a little bit. While you're doing that, I'm going to take our egg. We have an egg here that we're going to go add to this. I'm going to just give it a little whisk. Same thing I did with the other one, just whisking it with the fork. Convenient. And I'm going to pour that right on the side. We're going to let this cook a little bit. Once that sort of scrambles up and cooks, we can mix that into the fried rice.
Right.
You want to leave it kind of on the side until it starts to firm up, and then we can mix it in the rice so you don't lose all the egg chunks in there, the egg texture.
You let me know when.
And again, this is a very nice, easy dish, easy to make. I mean,
Perfect for me.
obviously everything's all ready to go.
Yeah?
Okay, you can kind of just scramble the eggs in. You see they're kind of scrambled up a little bit, got a little bit of texture added to the rice there.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to give you our sauce to add in as well. So I'm going to add in about half of our sauce. That's looking great.
Smells awesome.
Tell me about Spiceology.
Well, my question is, when are we going to add Spiceology into this?
Well, We use Spiceology at all of our restaurants. It's a local company that we really love. I've known Pete Heather for a very long time, and being one of the local mainstays here in the area, it's a great quality products.
We appreciate it. We got our start in Spokane and have been expanding over the last 7.5 years. And we got a product that is beloved by chefs and consumers, and we're just having fun.
Yeah, we love it. Even the kimchi we have in there, we make our kimchi in-house.
Nice.
At our commissary for Pickled. That we use a Korean spice. We use our Korean chili flakes from Spiceology.
Nice.
We use it in pretty much all of our restaurants, all of our cooking, so it's pretty well loved. Okay, that looks about right. So now we're ready to plate.
All right.
Okay, take this beautiful fried rice.
All right.
Steal the spatula back from you. And I think really the reason I love Spiceology is the quality of the spices. I mean, the things we're getting, they're not sitting around on shelves for a really long time. The stuff we're getting is really high quality. It's very, very well produced, and it's delicious. It really makes our food pop.
Yep. We grind fresh and ship fresh.
I can tell.
It's very different.
Yeah.
Very different.
Okay, so I got a couple sunny side up eggs here to top it off.
Beautiful.
And then go ahead and sprinkle a little sesame seeds on top.
All right.
Looking good. All right.
Beautiful.
Let's go try this. Here we are. Here's
Yes.
what we got. Breakfast fried rice.
Wow. Okay.
Beautiful.
Well, we're gonna dig in. Thank you so much for joining us, Chip. I personally love Spiceology. Use it all the time for grilling, for popcorn, for everything. So how can we get it at home?
Go to spiceology.com and order up
All right, and you'll just ship it to our house.
right to your house.
Love it.
Yeah.
Convenience. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for watching. Join us next week on Fox 28 for another 3 recipes at a new restaurant in town.
Let's dig in.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
See how we did here.
I trust you guys.
Can't wait to try the kimchi.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Any excuse to eat fried rice.
I made this.
Pretty much. And Chip did make this.
Props to you.
Let's be clear.
You did it all.